Welcome to our presentation for CHIWORK' 2022, titled Making Space for Social Time, Supporting Conversational Transitions Before, During, and After Video Meetings. Traditional remote meetings have cold starts and ends, which is unlike in-person meetings in which participants experience conversational transitions, or CTs for short. Conversational transitions allow us to naturally transition towards and away from a group, providing natural time for proxemics, comfortable changes of talk, small talk, and pre-post meeting talk, and facilitates collegiality and coordination for productivity. However, the lack of conversational transitions in remote video conferencing software is an unnatural constraint. How are conversational transitions enacted? Well, we know conversational transitions are easily enacted in a physical space. That's why we assume there is a recent trend in recent commercial video conferencing systems using spatial audio and specialized navigation metaphors, such as Gathering Town or Topia. These systems tend to recreate conversational transitions with a remote, denotative, naturalistic spatial metaphor, which turns into a video game-like interface showcasing 2D avatars and a fixed background. These systems shine the most when used persistently throughout the day. However, current systems aren't used persistently. Rather, they are used periodically throughout the day. So there is a problem with this assumption behind the design. Hence, we began our work with the following question. How can conversational transitions be provided in a container scheduled like a periodical video call? After our discussions and these 6 weeks, 3 themes emerged for the design. Firstly, we needed to make space for time, requiring special buffers before and after scheduled calendar meetings and a non-persistent space after post-meeting time. Additionally, we needed to incorporate graceful transitions between meeting times to enable users to talk with subgroups of attendees pre-meeting and also to quickly select and start a follow-up meeting in post-meeting time. Finally, we also required to include spatial sound design to support the transition metaphors with the spatial audio and sound cues, enhancing the proximity perception of attendees. Now we are presenting you our idealized pre-meeting flow, in which we are enhancing a current starting metaphor of Microsoft Teams, in which a notification window appears when the meeting starts. In our case, we enhance that notification window by including a preview in real time of the pre-meeting space, showing how many attendees are there and how many of them are talking among themselves. Once a user joins a meeting, they can navigate their social video bubble, as we call it, into close proximity of others to form a social bubble. Then once the official meeting time starts, or the pre-meeting time has passed, a notification appears on top of the main meeting space, here represented as an auditorium, and participants are prompted to navigate to the bottom of the screen, triggering another transition. We perform 2 30-minute informal tests with 13 participants, in which we perform unstructured discussions about prototype elements and conversational transitions. We also took field notes during these informal sessions. The prototype taught us that users enjoyed quickly moving around to join and leave bubbles in pre- and post-meeting time. They also enjoyed choosing their own seats and moving seats during the meeting time in the auditorium. Users freely form ad hoc huddles outside of the auditorium during the official meeting time, which surprised us. Hence, we saw that the blank wandering space was actually self-explanatory. However, we did have limitations with our informal testing. This was not a rigorous user study. Also, the prototype didn't include calendar links as it was intended to. There was no preview of who was in the space before you joined the space. And the pre-meeting to meeting transition, with the auditorium lights lighting up and the notification on top, wasn't well understood by participants. Most testers didn't grasp that they could access the space multiple times a day. This shows a series of implications for design that we discuss here. First of all, visual self-explanation of transitions, which can help discover the social dynamics of the space. However, the wrong design can obstruct explainability, as we saw with the lack of understanding of the pre-meeting to meeting transition. Spatial audio can support also the understanding of social dynamics, but it requires careful design. There are things that we didn't cover in our prototype, such as broadcast capabilities, where there will be room for interruptions depending on how you implement the distance attenuation algorithm or a binaural algorithm. Also, we saw that abstract spatial metaphors and transitions can elicit conversational transitions without the need of a real-life representation, which has the potential for moderators to fluidly direct users into smaller groups and to scale the space for more or less users without the need of recreating a bigger or smaller room. It also has implications for practice. There are trade-offs between online and offline sociality, meeting productivity, and fatigue. And if wrongly implemented, pre-meeting time before a meeting can actually be a burden to existing social remote dynamics. Hence, we believe that pre-meeting time should be built into existing meeting time, not creating a longer meeting, but rather making space for social time within the meeting time. There is also interest in the room for new social remote protocols by including time for social space, which indeed has implications for further practice. And we want to conclude with the remark that we believe that we need to make space for social time by default in video conferencing software. Thank you very much for listening to our presentation, and we hope you enjoyed the full paper.